Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is VassaOlga. In today's video, we're going to be doing Fix My Makeup vlog, and I found super old photos of Kourtney Kardashian. I know that a lot of you would say, well, it was 10 or maybe 10 plus years ago. Why did you find this photo? Because it's for entertaining purposes, to be fun, to be creative. And I'm not telling you guys this is the only way around. This is my perspective on the makeup look that could have been done back in the day. But I'm not judging. It's just my input, how I would have done this makeup look now, and maybe how it would have been so much better with other colors back in the day. I love you all, and let's get started. Guys, today we're going to finally focus on Kourtney Kardashian's makeup look. I think her foundation is more or less normal. I mean, it's not cracking. She has no visible creases, but I don't really like the under eye area. I feel like it's extremely bright and it has to be a little bit more natural from my point of view. And then I was thinking that maybe we need a little bit more contour on the sides because it's probably super soft and almost invisible. This is not the worst makeup I've ever seen, but at the same time, it feels like she's missing something. I'm gonna go with L.A.Girl Pro.concealer. This one I use every single time, and with a fluffy brush, I want to get a little bit of product on the back of the hand, tap it off. With stamping motions, we're creating this really beautiful line. I want to focus the color really close to the cheekbone, a little bit higher to the temples. If you want to place it lower, that's your face shape that is looking so much better with a little bit different placement. Go ahead and use this technique. And she has, which I really like, a little bit of the same bronzer on top of the nose. This way you can create this thin transformation from very bulky nose, which she has, you know, bigger nose than maybe Kim does. We're gonna try to thin this out. I'm placing my bronzer on top of the bridge with stamping motions. For the sake of the video, it's Kardashians basically. I'm gonna be going with Givenchy concealer. This one is the lightest, I guess, from Givenchy, color N80. Underneath my eyes, I try to wipe any leftovers from foundation, and personally, I don't apply any foundation underneath my eyes because it's gonna crease in my fine lines. But if you have any sort of problem with your bruises underneath your eyes, always add a little bit of peach corrector, and then on top go with the concealer. This way you're gonna avoid this issue. We're gonna add the tiniest bit of product over forehead, my chin, underneath my eyes, and I'm gonna clean the sides. That is practically it. I'm gonna let it sit for some period of time underneath my eyes, and with a beauty blender, this is the beauty blender, we're gonna blend out concealer. Okay, we're moving to a little bit different step where we need to set everything in place, but I feel like she was sweating a lot according to the photo. That is the reason why I'm gonna be using a satin powder. This one is pressing powder. This is not a loose powder. This way, if you have too much product, it's gonna separate. I mean, your oils are gonna come through and you're gonna see a lot of cracks with a lot of products. My personal advice to use a little bit of powder, especially with a big and fluffy brush instead of Makeup Puff or Beauty Blender. I'm gonna leave a link down in the description box where I talked about Makeup Puff and why I try to avoid Makeup Puffs. If you're interested, you can check this out. Less product, less problems. Okay, let's move to a little bit different part of the video where we're going to be doing contour. I have e.l.f. contour palette with bronzers. It has warm shades, and you know that maybe Kim K, she used to wear a lot of contour, not bronzer. This is contour, by the way. It's cool tone, but it was aggressive. I mean, like, she had only contour and that was it, and she's probably wearing so much contour right now. And a lot of Kardashians, they're switched from bronzers to contours. We're going to mix both of these techniques. We're going to add a little bit of dry bronzers over my forehead, and of course, I'm going to add a little bit on top of my nose. For my nose, I'm going to use the same technique. We're going to get it on top of my nose bridge. So what you can do is, let me show you guys, lightly brush only the nose bridge, and that's it. You don't really need to go on the sides, just the nose bridge. And of course, we're going with a contour right now. This way, we're not going to have too cool tone browns or too warm browns in this area. It's going to have a little bit of structure with the contour and warmth with my bronzer. I'm going with the circular motions, but it's up to you guys, whatever you prefer. I think she has probably no blush, or maybe a little bit of blush, which I totally get. I'm gonna add a little bit of blush just for the sake of the video and because I like it, but if you hate it, just skip this step. And I need, personally, a little bit more contour for my nose. I'm going with the same contour I used on the sides. I was out of the product, tap it off, and I'm gonna use my angle brush. We're gonna create a semicircle at the root of my nose. That is Chinese technique that I shared in one of my previous videos. This way, we're gonna thin out the root of the nose. We're gonna define my nose bridge a little bit. You would say, but you have some bronzer on. You don't really need a little bit more contour. No, I need a little bit more contour. I feel like contour is always creating a better shape, and you can tell my nose is extremely thin. Let's do some blush. we're gonna go with some soft highlighter, same way on top of my nose bridge, a little bit on the sides of my face, and of course my forehead. We're gonna avoid this area because you can tell she's sweating, she looks a little bit tired in a way, and maybe even glossy. And I'm gonna go with my favorite part of the video where we're gonna set the rest of my foundation with the set spray. This one is from Makeup Perfect Essence, and with my beauty blender that we use to get all these powders and concealers in place, I'm gonna blend out any harsh lines. You can tell that now my blush is so much better and it's not extremely bright any longer. Okay, I have Makeup Revolution Corrector Palette, and let's go with this shade on top to create this really beautiful glossy skin effect. I'm doing this on top of my previous blush. Look at that, so pretty. By the way, it is totally optional. We're gonna add a little bit more of my wet highlighter in these areas, and that's it. I'm gonna real quick do my brows off camera because, well, my brow routine is nothing like hers, and it's nothing that you can probably learn from. I'm gonna see in a bit. For Kourtney Kardashian, this makeup is extremely soft. I guess she was missing a little bit of eyeshadows for the lower lid because it didn't look right. It felt like almost invisible. We're gonna go with my Beauty Bay eyeshadow palette. This one is super colorful. The color I'm gonna be going with is this purple, and maybe I'm gonna try to blend this out with this shade. We're gonna try to keep it super low, and with a flat brush, I'll transfer over my lid. I'm gonna stop in the outer corner of my eye, but let's keep it super close to a lash line. I will use a little bit different brush, the one that is gonna be more or less fluffy, probably Morphe M43 blending brush. I will go over my previous shade with this brush. I'm not gonna do anything crazy, and I'm not gonna go on top of my crease. It's lower than the actual crease. Let's do a little bit of shimmers. This is the only shimmery shade from this eyeshadow palette. And go with this color over the entire lid. And I'm gonna go over my waterline with this baby blue pencil. A little bit more of the same purple right underneath. Blend out with your finger, or you can use a brush. I have a white eye pencil as well. And let's do a combination of both. I'm gonna go with a little bit of blue and with a little bit of white. A black eyeliner. And I'm gonna focus this line in the inner corner to define this moment. And then we're gonna go to the outer corner and maybe create a small line or maybe a void line at all. Let's focus on my translucent powder. This is going to be underneath my eyes. I learned it the hard way that you don't need a lot of powder. And let's coat lashes with mascara. By the way, you can go with regular mascara or with a waterproof. Okay, I'm gonna wipe off any leftovers from my powder. Maybe we're gonna get started with a lip combination that I have no idea what I'm gonna create. I hope something decent. Let's probably start with Makeup Forever. This is color C105. I'm going with MUA Makeup Academy. This is Velvet Matte Lawn Wear Liquid Lip. I'm gonna blend out the color into my previous shade. And now I wanna experiment a little bit more and add some contour. Let's do it with a cool toned brown contour. Well guys, and this is the final result of my interpretation, fix my makeup look of Kendall Kardashian's makeup look. I know it was years and years ago when she was photographed in the makeup. I just wanted to give you my perspective on some old makeup look that used to be years ago, and I know that maybe in 10 years I'm gonna say, wow, that is the weirdest makeup I've ever done, so let me redo this makeup. That's just for some fun purposes, guys, only, and this is my version, this is my interpretation, how it could have been done. I love you all so much. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Maybe you love her version more than mine, which is totally fine and it's totally normal. I love you all guys so much, and I'm gonna see you next time. Bye bye.